Hi everybody, Dan Oman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets.
Hi everyone, David Aragona here for a look at the Plenty of Grace Stakes on Saturday at Aqueduct. Turf racing has returned to New York, and this race is carded for the inner turf course at Aqueduct on their Saturday card. Race 4 with an approximate post time of 2:58 Eastern Time. We've got a field of 6 signed on for this race, though one of those entered as an MTO entrant, the number 4 Halo City. So 5 horses entered to contest the 1 mile distance on the inner turf course for this Plenty of Grace Stakes on Saturday. And I would imagine we're going to have a prohibitive favorite here in the number 6 Technical Analysis, making her 4-year-old debut for the Chad Brown Bard. Never too much concerned about horses coming off layoffs for Chad Brown, and that's what this one is doing as she is launching her 4-year-old campaign, having last competed in October, the Grade 1 QE2 at Keeneland. Showed a lot of ability last year, so we'll see if she can carry that momentum forward into her 4-year-old season. But she's facing some good rivals in this race, including the number 1 Alms, who did some good things over the winter at Gulfstream Park, and the number 3 Plum Ali, another horse making her first start of her 4-year-old season, who ended her 3-year-old campaign with a stakes victory. We'll talk about her in a little more detail in just a bit, but before we get into the main contenders, let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race. And one of the reasons why Technical Analysis figures to be so dangerous is the pace projector is showing her on the lead in a situation favoring horses on the front end. She's a horse that possesses plenty of early speed, and she typically does her best work when her riders just give her head in the early going, let her get comfortable all by herself out front, and in that situation she usually finishes up pretty well and is able to hold off the closers. We'll see if that's the case on Saturday at Aqueduct. One of the horses that could be trying to close from towards the back is Plum Ali, though maybe not, because she tried out some different tactics in her last race. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but the horse that could be in closest attendance to Technical Analysis early is the number 1 Alms. She is a horse that has shown speed in the past. We'll see if her rider Javier Castellano decides to go after that likely favorite in the early going. Let's begin the discussion of the contenders with that favorite, Technical Analysis, and take a look at her last victory in August of 2021 at Saratoga, the Lake Placid Stakes, when she was a 3.5 length winner on this day. That is her in those Klarvich stable white and red silks, coming off the far turn, drifting a little bit wide. That's something that she's shown a tendency to do at times, not always a horse that wants to run right down on the rail. And she can be a bit quirky to ride. Jose Ortiz, her regular rider, is, I believe, out of town this day, so Dylan Davis will be taking over and getting his first mount aboard this filly. But I think the connections have basically figured her out at this point, as I was saying. She's not one that you really want to mess with. You don't want to grab her or fight her too much. She wants to be on the lead, and she typically runs her best races when they just let her get settled in a comfortable stride early. That's what they did 2 back when she won that Lake Placid, and she also ran really well last time when they let her go to the front end in the Grade 1 Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup. She did lose that race by 5 lengths, finishing second to her stablemate Chantazara, but really no disgrace losing to that horse. Chantazara could be among the best turf females in Chad Brown's barn, which are saying a lot. That typically means they're the best turf female in the country. Chantazara will actually be launching her 4-year-old campaign in the Grade 1 Jenny Wiley at Keeneland also on Saturday. Technical Analysis, though, setting her sights a bit lower for her 4-year-old debut in this Plenty of Grace. I think the turn back to the mile from the mile and 1/8 that she tried last time should really suit her. A mile just seems like the perfect distance for Technical Analysis. And if she's able to get out in front and comfortable, she figures to be pretty tough to run down in this race. Though as I was mentioning, that horse that could be in closest attendance to her is the number 1 Alms. Let's take a look at Alms's race 2 back when she was second in the Pegasus World Cup Filly and Mare Turf, a Grade 3 event at Gulfstream Park in January. And Alms was actually the pace setter on this day. That is her in those Godolphin blue silks with the white blinkers on the inside, actually getting challenged to the outside by a horse that was taking a run at her at the quarter pole, but she's going to just barely fend off that pace challenger, but not quite able to fend off the late challenge of eventual winner Regal Glory, another Chad Brown trainee who was a heavy favorite on this day. But I thought that Alms was pretty game to battle back to finish second here after setting what was an honest pace. You see those Timeform US pace figures for that race 2 back the Pegasus World Cup filly and mare turf are color-coded in red, indicating that Alms was part of a pretty quick pace on the front end, and the time formula speed figure also in accordance with that, as she got a career best 121 for that race. That's higher than any number that technical analysis has earned yet. We'll see if Alms can come and back it up here. She was not able to do that last time when she ran in the Honey Fox, a grade 3 event, going the same 1 mile distance at Gulfstream Park, regressing a little bit to finish 6th in that race at odds of 4-1, but they tried out some different tactics with Alms that day, took her much farther back in the pack than she had been in her prior race, got spun a little bit wide around the far turn. It was just a race where the trip did not really work out for her. I think they're going to revert to the more aggressive tactics this time. Whether or not she's on the lead, I think she'll be forwardly placed, and that's probably going to give her her best chance. I do believe she's the biggest or the most likely candidate to upset technical analysis, but I do think that one would probably have to not to show up for anybody else to win this race. Another horse that could attract some attention is the number 3, Plum Ali. Let's take a look at her victory when she closed out her 3-year-old campaign in the Winter Memories over the same Aqueduct course, going the mile and a 16th distance. Now, as I was kind of alluding to when I was talking about the morning line and pace projector for this race, Plum Ali tried out some different tactics in this Winter Memories last time. Manny Franco sent her to the front end, whereas typically she had been a horse that closes from towards the back of the pack. And that change in tactics really worked out for her in this Winter Memories, because she was able to lead this field from gate to wire and hang on to win by 3/4 of a length. There are some pretty good horses behind her. The runner-up White Frost, I don't think we've seen her since then, but she's a pretty promising turf horse. Gam's Mission, it was 4th, is one that has shown a lot of ability on occasion. And Plum Ali got a really strong 118 time formula speed figure for that last out victory. The best number that she earned in her 3-year-old season, earned at the very end of her of her campaign. She's coming back off the layoff here. Christophe Clement doesn't have the strongest stats with horses coming back off layoffs, and I think it's unlikely that she works out the same kind of trip in this race, given the ample speed that technical analysis possesses to her outside. So Plum Ali probably going to have to go back to one of those mid-pack closing trips this time. We'll see if that's going to work out for her. I do like the 1 mile distance for her. Just think that this is probably just a prep race for a bigger goal down the line for Plum Ali. Let's finish up with taking a look at another race from late in the 2021 turf season, the Forever Together Stakes, a race in which Flower Point was the winner over today's rival Jocosa. Both of them come out of that Forever Together Stakes. Jocosa is the one in the blue silks on the outside, is about to take over the lead, whereas Flower Point is in those pink and purple silks in behind the horse that was just highlighted. She's going to swing out into the center of the course with about 1/8 of a mile to go and find her best stride. She'll just run down Jocosa as they come onto the wire. Watching this race in real time, I kind of felt like Jocosa maybe ran the slightly better race, as she had to cover more of ground, going a bit wider on the turns, made the first move, whereas Flower Point was just able to nail her on the wire after saving some more ground in the early stages. Both of these horses, though, I think would have to really take a step forward. The 107 time Formula speed figure that Flower Point got for winning this race, not really in the same league as the 3 major contenders that we just talked about. So nice to see her finally get a stakes win in the final start of 2021, but I believe she'd have to be even better as she launches her 6-year-old campaign to have a major say in the outcome of this Plenty of Grace. So let's throw my picks for this race. I'm not getting too creative here. I picked the 3 favorites in their morning line order, put the number 6 technical analysis on top. Really feel like this horse came to hand last summer and held her form through the end of the season. Chad Brown, there's really not too much to worry about with his turf horses coming off layoff. So if she shows up in her first start back of 2022, I think she's going to be pretty tough to beat from the front end. I do believe that main danger is the number 1 Alms, the other horse with tactical speed. And I put Plum Ali in third. Just feel like she might not have the trip or pace work out for her in this race, but she is one that I would want to watch down the line because she was improving towards the end of last season. But I did put that favorite, the number 6 technical analysis, on top in the Plenty of Grace Stakes, race 4 at Aqueduct on Saturday. Good luck if you're playing the races this weekend.